Hey, what's up everybody? I'm doing something completely backwards today. Check this out. 3-valve Mustang, Dyno Jet SAE 819, real horse at 6,300 RPM, torque 707 at 5,500 on a 3-valve GT Mustang. So here's what we're gonna do. Doug, check this out. This is an 07 Roush 427R. I know it says 427R. Nothing on this car is what it was before. Here's what I'm gonna do, a little something different today. We will go take a look at the engine compartment. We're gonna show you a dyno pull, and those of you who wanna bail, you can, and those of you who wanna stick around, I'm gonna talk about what kind of money, which is something I normally never do, it costs reliably to build a car like this. So hey, I'm Brent from Brinspeed. Thanks for watching Brinspeed TV. Please subscribe and notify if you like videos like this. I really appreciate you watching. Doug, let's go check out the engine compartment. All right, I'm gonna do a quick rundown on pretty much the big parts on the drivetrain on this vehicle right here. We're gonna watch a dyno pull, and then as well, I'll have links in the description. Go to the details. You can click on that to read a little bit more about some of the parts we're talking about right now. Doug, come down, take a look. So what's like the big parts on this 800 roll horsepower 3-valve Mustang? We have our Brinspeed Stage 3 B326 long block. We have the VMP 2650 supercharger. All right, that's a GT500 supercharger. We retrofitted on this right here. Ford Racing throttle body, big GLT air induction system, big long tubes, and tons of drivetrain mods to go along with this. Fuel, what fuel we running? X85. So basically, you know, a lot of you may not know what that is. It's like 85, but this is like race X85. It's exactly 85% ethanol, as well as, you know, built transmission, built rear end, a lot of cool things like that. We are running about, almost, not quite there, 19 PSI of boost, and it's a manual transmission vehicle. So why don't you watch this dyno pull? I don't know, I showed you the numbers again earlier, but you can see what it makes. Then we're gonna talk, what in the world does it cost to build a car like this? Because a lot of you out there want to do it. I want to bring you a lot of you to reality to understand what it really takes, and maybe tell some of you, maybe like 95% of you out there, where's a good place realistically to be. And then guys like this that want something kick-ass, what it's going to take. Check this out. All right, check it out. Dyno Jet, like I said, SAE 819, roll horsepower, 6,300 RPM, torque a stellar 707, peaking at 5,500, and we're over 600 torque by 3,200 RPM. So that is some killer numbers. Doug, take a look at this. Beautiful black 427R Roush Mustang. Under the hood, it's no longer a Roush Mustang. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about what it takes to get here. Why do people do builds like this? Or why do people do builds in general? So, you know, 800 roll horsepower on S550, sure, we do videos like that a lot. But how many 3-valve Mustang videos do you see making that kind of torque? And actually, the torque's really high. Over 700 on 3-valve. That is sick. So sit back, relax, or bounce out if you want to. If you want to learn about what it takes to build a 3-valve like this, stick around. We're going to go check it out. Okay, so what's it cost to build a car like this? This is a very popular question. I know a lot of you call in. And then, you know, when we make videos like this, a lot of you online are like, why don't you just buy an S550? Why don't you just buy a Coyote? I want to talk about the different reasons people do different things. But the realistic reliability, what it costs to build, you know, like let's say an 800 roll horsepower Mustang. You know, 800 is different than 700. Way different than, you know, trying to make 500 of the tires. But right now we're talking about an 800 roll horsepower 3-valve. So we're talking about a 3-valve Mustang, not a Coyote, and what it takes to get there. So first, let's talk about why do people build cars like this? Well, not everyone loves an S550. You need to understand that we talk to people every single day, all kinds of Mustangs, And yes, the easiest platform to make this type of power would definitely be an S550 Mustang or some sort of Coyote Mustang. Pretty easy to get where we're at on this 3-valve right here. But not everyone wants that. Maybe you have a 3-valve Mustang and it's paid off. Maybe you don't even like the body style. You know, not everyone is about the cheapest way to get there. You know, a lot of people will watch the videos we make and look at horsepower numbers. They'll be like, you know, you could have made a little bit more. Well, not everyone wants a little bit more. Maybe there's a certain horsepower level they love. You know, so that a lot of times when you watch a video, we build a car to the specification of the client based off of what we recommend, but really what they want. So not everyone's trying to get peak power, peak torque. Maybe they want a little bit safer. Maybe they want a little bit more reliability. So we'll build vehicles specifically to fit their needs. So let's talk about 3-valve Mustangs. One of the most expensive Mustangs from 05 and newer to get to the type of horsepower, the type of torque we just talked about right here. But you know what? The 05 to 09 Mustang, back when that came out, I got my first 05 Mustang in December of 2004. And when that body style changed from the new Edge, it was mind-blowing. A lot of people love that body style, and a lot of people have these cars paid off. They love them. Maybe they've already put a bunch of money in suspension. Maybe they've already built a rear end, and they want to go crazy, and they want to go after the Coyote Mustang, or they want that type of power. And that's what we have right here. So, 3-valve Mustang, guys. All right, we're talking big power. You need to expect to pay, and I don't normally talk about this, but I'm going to talk about parts alone, and I'm going to explain why the dollar amount gets to what I'm getting ready to talk about. If you don't have like $50,000 to reliably try to make 800 real horsepower with some money on backup for some maintenance, it's probably not a good idea to try to do. Now, I know a lot of you out there are going to watch this and be like, well, my buddy in his garage put some giant 25-pound turbo on, some race fuel, like whatever did it. We're talking about reliability. Let me explain where this money comes from. So just a long block, okay? So you're talking like a stroker built long block, ported heads, maybe upgraded valves, upgraded valve train, big camshafts like this car has right here. On a long block, you're looking at about $15,000 just for a long block. And this is in 2021. Who knows when you're watching this video? Now you need a supercharger. Well, to get the proper boost and get the proper type of supercharger you need, which just has a VMP Gen 3 R2650, which turned out killer, you know, you might expect about $10,000 in a supercharger setup on your 3-valve Mustang as well. Oh, now we need long tubes. I need, you know, some nice, reliable 304 stainless steel exhaust, $2,500. Oh, I need a return style fuel system. We love four fuel systems, $2,500. I need some injector, Dynamics injectors. All right, some big 1050X, maybe like this has right here, maybe ID 1300s, $1,000. All right, maybe more. So the money goes up and up and up. Were you going to run the stock transmission with that? No, you're not. You're going to want something like a Magnum, which is pretty much the best transmission to run if you want to have a manual on a vehicle like this. You need a Magnum transmission conversion. You have to have the bell housing, the new 26-spline clutch, which we like the McLeod RXT, new flywheel, everything for the conversion. You know, you're talking $5,000, $6,000. So you're going to run the factory rear end? Nope. You know, you're not going to run the factory rear end if you want to be reliable, because we're talking about reliability. Built rear end, you had money in there. Are you going to run factory brakes? No, you're not going to do that. Are you going to run factory suspension? No, you're not going to do that. So a lot of times people that have a 3-valve Mustang will be like, man, I really like the fact that I could make, you know, Coyote type power. Well, yes, I love that. And I love building cars like this, and there's totally ways to do it, but this isn't something that's like $20,000 if you want to be reliable. So this is just like a video about what it really costs to make this type of power, you know, down to earth. And we're not even talking about installation yet. This is talking about you just buying parts. There's a lot of other things that go on. The belt tensioner on this car, to make everything work properly, like just the belt tensioner, which is awesome, is like $600 for this belt tensioner. So every little thing adds up. So I just want to make a video today about, you know, a lot of you watch these. I love cars like this. What's it cost to build something like this? Because I know a lot of expectations are maybe a lot lower dollar amount. And I'll tell you what, for a lower dollar amount, you can do some cool things on a 3-valve Mustang. But it's not 20 grand to be reliable, because you haven't at that point built an engine, got a supercharger, and you definitely haven't done any of your drivetrain or suspension or brakes or fuel system or injectors or all the stuff that goes along with it. So I thought it'd be cool to take a little bit of time today to do something I've never really done and talked about what it really costs to get here. But I'll tell you what, if you love, like, this car is so sweet. This car is so mint. And he owned this 427R. Nice, rare car, making that kind of power. One of the rare people out there. I can Google S550 videos making 800 raw horsepower. Hell, I can Google my own channel, S550 videos making 700-800 raw horsepower. And I can sit there and watch a ton of myself talking about them, but you don't see many videos like this. And that's one of the cool things about it. So there's different type of people out there, different type of budgets. If you got a budget you love your car and you want to do something like this, we can totally do it for you. And hey, if you're on a tight budget, let's say, yes, buy a Coyote Mustang. Hey, my Mustang's a 19 GT automatic convertible. I bought the heaviest S550 I could find. I'm running a Roush 50 state kit with minimal mods on it, set of long tube headers, runs 10s in the quarter mile. Okay, that is cool. And I'll tell you what, it's pretty cheap. I probably have less in my whole car and setup than this car has right here in upgrades. I'm the same as every other guy when I'm at the drag strip. When I go cruising, I go to a cruising. I'm the same as every other person, and that's not what a lot of people want. So if you have a 3-valve Mustang, don't worry. There's ways to get to where you want to be. There's a lot of different price ranges out there. And I think what I'll talk about also is, if you don't want to get a built engine, the best place you can go to make good power, like the best parts, because you can do it for quite a bit cheaper. That's just once you hit this level of trying to make 700-800, the price really advances on a 3-valve Mustang. So let's say you have a 3-valve Mustang with a stock engine. You want 500 of the tires. We do this all day long. Do like a Paxton Novi 2200, one of our Brinsby turnkey packages, or maybe like an Edelbrock. Do a set of camshafts, do a set of long tube headers, premium fuel, not X85 like this. You're looking at 500 of the tires reliably on the stock engine. And that is a good way to go. That's realistic on a budget that might be 13, 14,000, something like that, to get all that stuff and everything you need, including like some, fuel system upgrade, injector upgrade. But that's a really good way to go. But if you are like, I love 3 valves, I want sick power, I'm gonna, kill some S550s on the highway, which I promise you this car will do, because the torque is sick on this. 707 roll torque. You watch the S550 videos we do, you don't see a lot with torque like that. This car is gonna kill it, and he's gonna love it, and it just costs a lot of money to go there. So I don't normally do videos like this. I just want to take a minute to talk to everyone and say, realistic, reliability, what's it really cost to do this? That's just what it costs. I mean, parts are parts. They just cost what they cost. So if you wonder how much it costs to build something like this, I just kind of told you. And then, of course, if you want like our basic package, or maybe have some cams installed, email quote@brinsby.com to figure out, like, you want to work your way up to something like this, because you don't have to do this at one time. You can do it in steps. I mean, looking down right here, this has so many extra things. Like, it's got an electric water pump. You got a Missouri electric water pump, 8-rib convert. There's like just a list goes on and on and on. And you need to have money. Oh, another thing I want to talk about. You need to have money for repairs. So you build a car, let's say I want to build a car as basically strong as possible. Okay, this is the aftermarket. I don't care if we're talking about S550s, or we're talking about 3 valves, or we're talking about new edges, or F-150s. You want to build it as strong as possible. Okay, there's no guarantees. The parts that are going on are intended to be as strong as possible. But you know what? This car might rip down the road, and 3 weeks from now, and maybe a gear breaks in transmission. Well, you know what you need to have in your pocket? Money to fix that, all right? This is how, when you're trying to do something aftermarket, how it works. The manufacturer, most of these parts that are rated, hell, even Ford Performance, even a throttle body, guess what? On their website, no warranty, race use only. So sometimes parts take a dump, it sucks. A lot of times they don't. When parts take a dump, you have to be prepared to replace it. And that's real world, okay? This isn't like buying a brand new car. There's this much horsepower from the factory and everything's rated for that. You're doing upgrades to get to where you want to be. So when you're planning a budget, plan out what you want to spend on a build that you're comfortable with. Don't go overboard, all right? Don't spend the whole life savings on building a car. I highly discourage from doing that. Save a little bit back for some maintenance. And when I say maintenance, maybe you break a belt. Maybe you need to replace your spark plugs. Maybe the clutch goes out. Or hell, I've even, back in the day, racing my whole life. I've raced for over 20 years. Maybe I put some awesome axles in the car. I go to the drag strip, I break an axle. Well, I had upgraded axles and that happens. You know what I did? I brought the car back. It sucked. I lost my money that weekend. Had to tear everything apart. I replaced the axle, and that's just the way the performance industry is. So I hope you like watching this video. I just wanted to rant for a little bit for those of you who are willing to watch and talk about what it costs to build a high horsepower 3-valve, how great Coyotes are. They're really great for making a lot of power. A lot of them out there. You'll be a lot like everyone else, but it's a less or money way to do it. And then your expectations after you build it. Hey, not everything's perfect. Sometimes you have problems. Sometimes you have to fix those, and the money's out of your pocket. So I'm Brent from Brent Speed. Hope you enjoyed us. Please leave a comment if you have questions. We'd be happy to answer. Subscribe and notify. Thanks for watching.